Used to be a lot more ship here, as you can see by some of the blueprint remaining. I need to... Storm seems to be starting again, so I need to hide in something like a cockpit. Oh. There's iron ingots. That's the assembler. I'm gonna... Let me show this one. This one. This thing is still sending a signal, so... There's the assembler. There's the container. And that's the connection that's missing, okay. Undo. Oh. Yep. That's a good sound. Fortunately, the cockpit is one of the first things that got hit on the landing, killing me instantly, forcing me to respawn in the ship. But once I've built this, I can start doing some maneuvering and, you know, properly dealing with all the damage. That's not no ship. In the glory of all that's left. None of the big hydrogen thrust has got through it, and that's pretty good. I did remove my respawn pod over there from the top, but I do still have my glide on top. And it appears that a bunch of my drills from the front also survived. Not assembled anymore, but they did survive in our form. I could possibly even salvage if I can. No, I don't think so. I'm thinking maybe I can find the cockpit, but I was in it and when it was thrown out, so it was definitely blown up. Alright. Status. Do a food. Am I being supplied? Yes, I am. So. It's making power cells. Some of my vast broken or disassembled batteries that it's replacing now. Super. Oh no. The drive. Yep, number 2 is missing. That's bad. That's kind of expensive. That's thunderstorm, that's bad. Let's see, I do have enough iron to make a lot of blocks. What's it called again? Can do that in the meantime. No matter what, I'm definitely gonna need a lot of those. And the glider has an open cockpit, so I can't really use that, but my drop pod, if I can modify that a little, I could use that for driving around. Possibly finding some resources like gold, but I would need for some of the more expensive repairs. I will also need a way of getting the ship to move to anywhere else in the first place. See, obviously, the thrusters were not enough, so I will need to add some atmospheric thrusters. Let me... Definitely at least cobalt is missing, I think. Yeah, that's not gonna be enough. Okay, yes, so I'm gonna be going around looking for that. This was fine when I was in space, but over here, thinking I will remove this and make a crane setup later. Ooh, something's losing power. Don't think I can press this. Okay, so I set a pattern. That. Oh, it's bad. Definitely losing power. Do I have... It's at 500 meters, that's not gonna be good. But I did find cobalt, so that's not gonna be any issue. I built this thing entirely in space, so I didn't really test out its ground capabilities too much yet. I think I was on the moon once. That's good. Mm. Okay. I don't know exactly how much this is gonna make and how much I will need. I only know that I will need it, and so I'm taking it. Doesn't seem all that perfect. I'm not really picking them up fast enough for my tastes.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
Yes, this is also one of the spaces where I've got cargo issues. Yeah, I did lose a lot of ice. And this must have been picked up here. And it blocked the system. Okay. Now I should be good now. At least for a little bit. That's more like it. I should also turn on the engine. It is on, okay. That way it's gonna be using up all that ice item. Storm or yeah, storm. I believe I turned that off, but it appears a random update has decided that I turned that on actually. You see, I don't believe in the instant destruction of vehicles via thunder. The mere vehicles are basically made out of lightning redirectors. So, I see a specific thing. Oh, I see. Oh, and I believe we will not. Look, it's disabled. Okay. That's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm perfectly aware of why I've made this a separate save, going to the Earth-like planet. Because I'm not having this shit. The weather damage that you yourself get as well is way too high in my opinion. Getting you down from 70 to 40 to 10 or even instant death in a space suit does not seem right to me. Like if I'm getting worse results with a gun, it's gotta be some intense storm. We have one of two things that could have caused the damage, whatever that explosion was exactly. It's either weather damage or clang. Neither of which I want in my game. So I'm not having it. Yeah, that looks better. How much gold do I have? Okay. Okay. Moving this back as well. Any complaints here? It's just listing what it needs to build still. Missing tube, okay. It's on the list, so it's gonna happen eventually. I think there's some scribble in this. I'm also pretty sure the magnet planets that didn't get destroyed have gripped onto the surface of our planet. Alright, let's take a look at the drills. The weather as a visual impediment, I am completely fine with. But getting shredded to little meaty chunks by a sandstorm? Not so much. Unless I'm literally on Venus, it shouldn't go this hard. Let's move it. I gotta remember it's in the blueprint, I can just reprint it. Okay, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. So I guess settings don't really mean anything. Unless because it's an in-progress event it can't be stopped yet. And the next time it's just not gonna trigger. But that's done. Okay, let's move this back a little bit. It's specifically missing the ace right now. Yeah, one of them is locked, okay. That means the ship is not gonna move. What about the batteries? it's giving me a day, 6 hours, 6 hours. This one, 6 hours. These are, I think, on charge mode. Yeah, they're on charge mode, okay. 7 hours, yeah, I think I'm gonna be good. Should be done by then. And have something better up for power generation. Oof. Invisible Knights are bad. Which is another reason why I don't like the way Rival seems to work. If this is a nicer planet, what do you mean the other ones are exactly the same, just differently colored bad events and sometimes spiders? They're not so bad about them. It's, I mean, as long as weather is affected, it's not like you can walk around anyways for long. It's just a different timer. Flat atmospheric hydrogen. Atmospheric is what I need a lot of. So let's queue a bunch of stuff for that. Yeah. Oof. It's gonna take a while. Nope. Muting that. That was the ping on my end. Do not worry about it. Just collecting some info about what I do have. Got enough iron to last me for a good while, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I have access to these two. I do. So I do have storage as well. Ice, yeah. I don't have a refinery at the moment, I think. Yeah, okay. And I am gonna run out of algae at some point. So that's a worry. I don't want that. I'm gonna have to regularly turn off all thrust. because otherwise I'm gonna be having difficulty with my power. I will build more machines at some point. It's about doubled my power duration. I will be building more machines, like more assemblers and stuff, so I will need to conserve what I do have. Don't have a charger, right? Nope. It's good for now. That's disconnected. What is that? Not reach it. I had a whole thing in the in this place. Which I have these connected kind of like so. But well, you know, that's gone now. Silicon wafers. I do have enough, okay. It's just weirdly skipping through stuff, that's all. Did it already put anything in here? Nope. 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 Okay, that's good. Since I already added it to the build and repair group, it would sometimes add items to the queue, even if there's, you know, no way for that to be fulfilled, because the items for the assembler are what's in the queue. Which is, of course, you know, a difficult situation. Ah, okay. That should be the last of the way then. Now, why the slow down now? Okay. Because it's resting on the crest over there, I think I can safely remove these parts here. Guess not. Oh, now it's precariously resting on this ledge. Okay. The main reason I'm hesitant to cut these pieces off is because it took me quite a while to figure out in which order I had to, build them in the first place. Oh, nice. Little good that did me, but I have increased health now. I was at a maximum before this incident, but well, only time can heal that. I'm gonna be cutting it in half. That way I can fall down and I can actually reach it without having to hover, which is wildly inefficient. Invol that used to be a single message. Having it all be split up like that is kind of annoying. To the point where I can totally see myself wanting to disable the whole system just to get rid of the messages. Yeah. Okay, and... Alright. This used to be the front of my ship, which connected with asteroids via magnet pads, which allowed me to safely extend a drill bit into them and remove deeper pockets of ore. Now it's scrap metal. Oops. Well, there's the power, but is it connected to cargo? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I'm not getting any hydrogen from that. Those are either a lot more repaired already than they used to be, or not as damaged as I thought they were. That's pretty good either way. I'll have to think about how to salvage this whole thing, though. I will need to lift this up and put it at least on flat ground before I even think about adding more thrusters, I think. Or at least, more proper thrusters. I could make a temporary arrangement with just atmospheric thrusters, which is, I think, what I'm gonna do. Once I've got more assemblers. Hold on. Um, Production components, motors, and computers. It's giving me more stuff for other assemblers, but not another generator. I just need about 20 of them for now. Just to make one more assembler. Then I can share the workload on me. Okay. Now I need 100 computers. It will take a couple apparently. The one time this angle is fortunate. Now this one I'm gonna specifically dedicate towards making assembler parts. Should be in the option for that. Oh. I do it manually. What was that sound? that's doing it. You know the big comic book companies like Marvel and DC and Image? I feel like with the rise of Invincible recently, uh, could be room for an interesting experiment. What I'm thinking is comic book universe using all the same characters and all that, but in a world specifically made to have events not constantly reset back to the status quo. A crisis happens, a city gets destroyed. Yeah, it's not gonna be done in the next issue or when another hero needs to be in that city. That city's gonna be gone for a while. That kind of thing. Just an otherwise completely normal comic book universe, but when something gets changed, it cannot get instantly written back to the prior state. It should take time, efforts, or actually interesting miracles. Another interesting experiment, in my opinion, could be if there was an active effort to make sure that no messaging of any kind directly interferes with the internal world logic. That means if we have like somebody time traveling, the most classic example, time traveling goes completely horribly wrong because you can't change the past. Well, the way the character finds out you can't change the past is by changing the past. And whenever they do, it gets worse. But the thing is, that means the past can be changed, it just can't be made better. Which I don't think I need to tell you, doesn't make any sense. Like if the past can be made worse, there's nothing that says it can't be made better as well. And that means there should be a lot of dead family members who would be able to come back via time travel shenanigans. Who can't because the writers don't want time travel to change the present. Unless there's some big event, of course. So the next thing I would say is don't have that happen. Don't have a message you want to convey to the reader directly influence the internal logic of the world. And if you do have something like that, have it be some guy or some mechanism causing that. Like somebody built a machine, and that machine makes it so that any time travel changes can only be neutral or negative. And so at some point somebody could come along and say, hey, that machine kind of sucks, breaks the machine, and suddenly time travel can make positive changes. Hitler's dead. Uh, thousands of starved nations just come back, and we have iPhones in the Stone Age. All that kind of stuff. And that could be its own problem. But once that problem is fixed, since changes should be able to influence the world, some of the good stuff could stick around. Like, we could really just get rid of one or two wars, at least. Okay. Yeah. Turn this back on. It's in fly mode, welding only. So, mess of drills. I think the drills got cleaned up at some point here. Yeah. That sucks. That's a lot of nice juicy components that are just gone. And drill components as well, which are really useful in my current situation, being kind of off-landed on a mountain. So... let's see. Um, let's use these large flat ones. I'm gonna be placing some of them here on the side, on the girders. That should give me plenty of playroom. Oops. 3. One good thing came out of the crash. It made the ship a lot more compact. Well, any crash makes ships more compact, unless it spreads all the components through who knows how many sectors, but I don't really know. It cut the tip off, and that was kind of something I wanted to do anyway. I wanted to kind of shorten it, or at least extend the bulk so I have more surfaces to work with. And now I don't need to do that, I just need to rebuild as I want. Yeah, okay. I think I will be able to deal with that before I need to. I need more hydrogen. I'm super glad I built this ladder, by the way. I once ran out of hydrogen while I was just assessing my situation. And if I didn't have that ladder right there, I wouldn't have gotten back into the ship. I think that's my center of mass, or one of them is at least. Maybe it's center of rust? I don't know which is which. They are color coded, which is useful for if you know the colors. So, it's missing one over here. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Now, thanks to the engine base, I do have enough maneuverability at least. I don't have enough thrust to get off the planet, but I do have enough maneuverability once I can lift. Okay. Them turned off, so once they are built, they will not be wasting any battery power. Let's check on the production. I've got one. This one. Yeah, all in the. Yeah. So why are they not getting any tasks? Are these in range of the build and repair system? Yeah, just about. Go farthest first. Remove shower area. So now it should be working on the furthest block it's able to get to. Which of course should be the atmospheric thruster, so it's not going to be chipping away at these little bits of the armor around the engine base. Is engine bay the correct term? Engine bay. Yeah, it would be like a room in which you can do maintenance on engines, right? Still, it's only giving this one tasks. Let's remove all of them. Might as well. Just see what it does. Okay, this one has something now. This one, and okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. One more than I need, but I should have all the materials at least, so a little bit more can't hurt. I do still have a bunch of damages I need to fix as well. Okay. Yeah, it does seem to be working on... No, I think that's still in the engine base. Nope, yeah, that's the atmospheric one. Not the furthest, but I don't know. It does what it wants to do. Yeah, it's definitely gonna get finished. Anyway, that's looking good. And just to confirm, it is off. Yes, okay. from done. Little dot there where I used to come from. Not very my station, since that's on a little rock. That should definitely be deloaded. But there's something, huh? I'm gonna put myself binoculars to look if I have that mod in here. Yes. That's the ice planet I was nearby to. I just noticed I didn't place any GPS signal up in the atmosphere, outside the gravity field, so I can't really jump back and forth until I do manage to get out into space. I could use my glider for that. I think I should be doing that for a little bit. It's gonna take some time until this whole thing is finished anyways. So I may as well. Quick save. Okay. This ship is made with atmospherics in mind, which is good because I did install that mod again. I do also have iron thrusters. Just for navigation and final exit out of the atmosphere. I believe I just remembered. I think the ship had some hydrogen as well, which may mean I can't actually get out. It's also having most of its force concentrated on the bottom, which is, of course, not very aerodynamic. But I'm pretty sure I once made it out of the planet. Refund or Pertham or whichever it's, or however it's called. Massive gravity storage 100%. Okay, that's gonna be rough. Any scouting I could do with this? I wanted to move closer north when I was crashing. Obviously, it's low priority for me for now. Big problem I'm having is I'm not sure if I'm using the same atmospherics mode I was using earlier. Prior one was allowing me to land this thing using just gliding, but now with this one, I don't know. Maybe, maybe I can land just gliding. Maybe I can't. I know I'm faster when I point the nose down, so that's a good indicator. Worst case, this is also a VTOL vehicle. Like, I can easily just maneuver in the lower atmosphere using just the thrusters. And this safe doesn't have a limit on dampness. The last one had, and I built this one as well without any intentional dampening. So maneuvering it isn't a problem. It's just I don't know if the physics are the same because some mod appears to be missing and the blueprint printed without the hydrogen boosters. Ooh. Let's have a need. No. That would have been useful. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm gonna park it next to the respawn pod. By the way, when I was initially designing the ship, I built it too narrow in the cockpit area. And so I had to cut it completely in half and stitch the two halves together after extending one of them a little bit. And that's the current ship. I do not want to land this one on this slanted ship right now. That seems like a recipe for disaster. But hey, look at that. I don't know if there's any calculation for how many of these I need for my current rage. I'm gonna let all of these be built for now. Not gonna be trying anything. At least at the moment. One of my biggest struggles is the way I built the ship, all the machines in the frontier, were making it incredibly difficult to make this whole area airtight. And I have not figured it out before the crash. Not at all. Yeah. Back when Twitch used to be a lot cooler about things, what I would do is I would just play Space Engineers and then pretend I'm having some kind of space radio I can listen to. while slowly cruising between rocks and mining them completely. And I gotta say, nothing better than that. I gotta check if there's some big library of royalty-free music I could listen to. Let me actually check that out right now. Um, I'll go on the Internet Archive. Audio. License. It's not listed now. Where is it? Oh. Oh, that's an advanced search. It doesn't help me. Oh. Um. Media type. No. Oh, I'm gonna select audio there. That's Arabic. New collections, radio news archive, radio show and programs archive, community audio, podcasts. That could be neat. I'm not gonna be listening to Pokemon music. Handle. Wow. Okay. Creator, really, generic top-level domain. Council of European National Top-Level Domain Registries members. What? What? But, how about... Oh no, I can't search. Okay. I've got 200 pages and I can't do text search. Oof, that's a harsh one. Collections, maybe. I'm looking for royalty-free stuff, you know? Stuff where nobody can come along and say, hey man, that belongs to me. Explode your entire video and channel, maybe. So we've got podcasts, radio stations, religious, not more podcasts, religious lectures, Islamic lectures, additional collections. The fuck you mean additional collection is a separate collection? Okay. Music, arts, and culture. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of these things are music, arts, and culture. Can I search? What if I search for free? Free audiobooks collection. Okay. Top 30 background music for your videos. Okay. I'm very doubtful that that's just, you know, free for me to use. What's the vapor vault? Whoa. Whoa, okay, that's tits. That is tits on the thumbnails. Oral arguments from real state and federal court. You know, some easy listening. If you're to show and study to, you know? Just the usual kind of stuff. Oh, I just noticed, did I have my helmet on off the whole time? Maybe that's why I got hit by rocks. I didn't open that, so I don't know. Still doesn't feel right to me. Must have spawned like that. Because I'm on a planet? Then don't make weather on the planet that kills you. Come on, motherfucker, come on. Anyways, that's gonna be finished by the time I'm back. And now we are gonna make an attempt to leave this landed position. I don't have those in a group. For the carrier. Switch look. Shift 5, quick save. Um, a lot of momentum. Let's see. I'm gonna have these on the ridge connect. We've got it. Okay. Ah. So now I can properly start repairing. First step, turn off repairs. Stuck. Because I've got a blueprint. Where's the sorting? Ah, yeah, only largest. That's fine. Now, keep projection. Slowly buildable? No, sure. Yeah. Now, Let's remove all of these angle changes. Because the way that's oriented, it should be, but it isn't. Oh, I don't know, okay, it's not quite oriented like that. Um, okay, that seems to be on one side correctly. Yep. Let's do it from the cockpit. But yeah, that looks good. Oh, okay, actually I can do it from this side now. I just need to yeah. And that's about it. There's not much more that's added. It's just a couple of pretty important things that were removed in the crash. Like, you know, this one is. And some of the floor. A lot of floor, actually. Super big amounts of floor. Now I can turn this on again. Okay. That's basically me recovered from the crash. Plus minus a little bit of time. I can definitely speed it up by building more build and repair systems. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that. First, I think I'm gonna park one of my ships up on the roof of this carrier. I'm not sure if this one can fly. Don't remember. Did I fly it off? Or did I carefully drop it off? Okay. It can't fly, it seems. I'm gonna park it off the slope a little though. Because it's really struggling now. This plane though can definitely be parked up in the ship. I do somewhat remember I did add this tail structure that makes it look kind of like a space manta ray. Because it was supporting hydrogen propulsion. believe this doesn't have any backwards thrusters. From the irons, okay. At least have some. I'm thinking about constructing some hydrogen version here. Work in terms of small tanks. Stack with, but oh, it's an engine. Tank. I want to go through all my options. Let's, we could make something with this, like a big mess of them, like so. That seems fun. Let's do that. What imperfect? I can deal with that. Now I only want backwards thrusters, so I don't need to think about all the direction. I just needed to be able to lift off. I think 13,000 will be enough for now. Yeah, that should definitely do. Is there any way to connect this seat to be able to use it for refueling? Not there. But these are... Yes, those connect to the ammo. That's annoying. Why? I think I'm around to this large else. Core systems for sci-fi. Core systems for sci-fi. You think that's gonna be enough thrust? I think that's gonna be enough thrust. Is it centered? No, it's not, because the whole ship isn't centered. That's gonna be fixed later. I can just cut it apart again, but for that I'm gonna need a proper hangar situation. Not the top of a currently still sort of wrecked carrier ship. Maybe the interior of the currently sort of wrecked carrier ship. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. I am... Ooh, that's rough. What's... Oh, because... Okay. Okay, it's all good. It's just... Yes, because I didn't see it. Okay. No, let's connect both of them for the visuals. Entirely for visual reasons. Yeah. If only I had smaller round pipes. Alright. That's another thing on mine, by the way. What do I need? Gonna mute that for all, but I am gonna... connected now. Oops. Hey, nice. Yep, that's gonna be slowly built. I'm about due for another survival upgrade, I think. Should be coming up pretty soon. Ah. I'm modding my drill bit. Was a good drill bit. Definitely did its job perfectly fine. And it's gone now. It's gone. At least with the detector setup and you know, the arch are gonna return. I should check on my battery. It charged in 4 days, so I'm on a positive, but that's low on. More than fine. You know, can't really ask for much more. Except food. Another clever thing right now would be to just go into hibernation and just leave the game running. If this, you know, was a real situation, that's what I would do. Just hibernate until it's stowed most of the ship. Obviously, if it was real, there would be a computer I could set up to wake me up once that's done. And, you know, that's that. But, you know, this isn't real, this is a game, and I'm doing this for fun, and that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Especially since I couldn't do anything else when I was doing that. Because Space Engineers isn't exactly liked on the PC. Yeah. This connection is gonna need to be replaced. I think more build and repair systems would be a good idea. That's gonna speed it up. I could also see what I can place manually. Put some those kinds of components. If there's any pipes missing, I could do that. Alright, I've got this connected like that right now, so let's see. Okay, that's replaced properly, meaning it can build all the other stuff in this line now. I've got cargo containers as well, so I could mine if I wanted to. And if I had my robots. And yeah. The industrial bits under the main room, those are currently a problem. Seeing as I have changed some things there. Actually, I think I'm gonna be calling it for now. Yeah. It's gonna be it. I wanna cook myself something, eat, watch a show, and work out. Alright. I'm gonna be looking into it, seeing if I can get some music that I can actually use on stream. Attention Kmart shop. You can't be sick. No way. No way that's got Kmart announcements. Digitized version of an in-store reel tape is played within a Kmart store in December. Okay. Wild. Not what I'm looking for. Anyways, yeah, that's gonna be a longer project, I think. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today.